this week's manga chapter of One Piece, the Straw Hat Pirates nearly wake up Big Mom's big ass in this week's incredibly exciting chapter, which was probably one of the funniest chapters I've also read in a very long time. Bobbin is still on the move, and it looks like Sanji is finally about to be reunited with Luffy. So, let me just go ahead and say that this chapter I don't think is going to be for everyone. It comes across as a little comic strip-ish, if you know what I mean, like something that you would see in the Sunday comics. Because basically this whole chapter is just watching Jinbei, Pedro, Nami, Chopper, and Carrot try to get Brook back. And they're trying to basically switch him out with another skeleton, which they just so happened to find in the dungeon. They gave it a seaweed afro, and a lot of the funny stuff is just trying to see them try to, like, not get killed by Big Mom. Because if you get close to her, basically she's just going to completely crush you with her immense power. Not only that, but you got Prometheus, you got Zeus, and you even got Napoleon the Hat, who also doubles as a cutlass pirate sword, which I think is really damn clever, and kind of reminds me of that classic boss from Donkey Kong Country 2. Otherwise, I thought this was a great chapter. Christian, what are your thoughts on it overall?
Okay, so it's not that I didn't like this chapter, because we all know that Corey and I are action junkies. I think Corey's tastes have refined a little bit more over the years than mine, because, you know, I'm a Dragon Ball Z fan. That's how I got into anime. So this chapter, not exactly for me, but entertaining. And if you're a fan of One Piece, I mean a true fan of One Piece, you have to roll with this goofiness that comes along with the seriousness. And the one mark I have against this chapter is the balance is off. It is just goofy. It's just a goofy chapter. And as long as you don't mind seeing the gang do the Scooby-Doo trick where they run through a door and come out another door, you know, and all the shuffling around and the goofiness of Big Mom thinking there's a fly in the room when really there are spies trying to steal Brook. It's not for everybody. As long as you're okay with that, as long as you're okay with this being an overwhelmingly silly chapter, then it's a good chapter.
You could at least see the humor in this chapter.
Oh yeah,
though.
of course, of course. It was funny. It was making me smile the whole time. It's funny seeing Jinbei being stuck in a goofy moment, you know, because he's, like, there are characters that initiate goofiness, like Brook, you know, yo-ho-ho, you know, like, everything he does is sort of goofy. He has his serious moments, obviously. I think that's one of the really good things about this series is it's very well balanced in that way. But, you know, like, you see the serious characters getting thrown in goofy situations like this chapter is sort of entertaining. And also, I think one of the most interesting things to me is that Big Mom's pirate crew is now realizing when Brook was finally saved and the poneglyphs were revealed, he had sketched them, you know, like when you take a pencil and put it up against something and like rub it over it so it makes an imprint. They now realize, holy shit, these guys are actually really good at what they're doing because even we can't get into that room and we're like high-level family members of this crew. So, you know, to me that was one of the biggest revelations is that like the Big Mom crew is now like, holy shit, the Straw Hat crew is pretty darn good at what they do. But at the same time, doesn't that happen everywhere the Straw Hats go? You know, they show up, they're goofy, no one believes in them, and then by the time they're done, everyone's friends with them or respects them, even their enemies. So, what did you think of, like, the reveal of the poneglyphs? Did you think that that was actually, like, did you think Brook actually had them? Or do you think he just made a stand-up? Like, that was the biggest surprise for me. If there was a reveal, it was that.
Without a doubt, that was probably the biggest revelation about this week's chapter. It's something that I didn't even think about, although it might have been something that may have been hinted at in some of the earlier chapters, because I remember in last week's review, one of my commenters actually said the rubbings of the poneglyph are inside Brook's skull. So clearly maybe there's something that I missed in the last couple of chapters, but it is really clever that he was able to hide those away. I love how casual Brook was about it, though. Like, after being saved, he's like, oh yeah, I got the poneglyphs right here. And then you get those big-eyed reactions from all of the characters, and they see all of the crazy shit that they just went through. For me, personally, Brook was the funniest part of this chapter. Not just because of all the shit that he's been through, having to deal with constantly being almost attacked by all the Mink Tribe members who are dogs, but now being basically the personal stuffed animal of Big Mom. But I love the fact that even he himself is sleeping. Like, he's kind of like there just sort of accepting his fate. Like, oh, well, I'm screwed. I might as well get comfortable. And I love when they even mention that Brook is sleeping. How in the hell do you tell? Because he can't blink.
He doesn't have eyes.
Like, he's got to look disturbing when he sleeps.
Yeah, it's just kind of sort of weird, but don't get into that. It's One Piece. There's a lot of weird shit in this world. Just let it go. Okay, big part, though. Sanji finds Luffy.
Yes.
Boom. How does he find him? Does he have, like, a dragon radar? you know, or something. No, he just listens for the grumblings of his stomach, and he runs up with a picnic basket, and most likely that's what's going to save Luffy.
That was actually the name of this week's chapter, was just Growl. It really was. Like, that's not a joke. That was the name of this week's chapter.
Well, it makes sense. You know, like I said, no dragon radar needed. Just listen for Luffy's stomach, and find the way.
Luffy is looking beat the hell up. Not only is he just completely malnourished, but, you know, he's been fighting, like, all against Big Mom's soldiers and army and family, and he just looks almost skeletonized at the end of this week's chapter. Like, definitely one of the most, like, beat-up forms of Luffy that we have ever seen. And I'm really interested to see if Sanji and Luffy's, like, big reuniting thing is going to go down smoothly, because Bobbin is back. Like, he got kicked the fuck out of by Sanji, but somehow it looks like he's going to be getting back into the game, and he's Mr. Fix-It, apparently, so he might have another ability that we don't know about, so I imagine he's probably going to arrive with some goons to sort of stop this, like, big reunion between the two characters.
Did you see was it his abilities to make people pass out around him or something? What was that? I could have swore, maybe this is me not reading the chapter long enough, but, like, he woke up and was angry, and then, like, everyone fell down around him.
Yeah, like, everyone around him was like, what the hell just went on here? What's all this commotion? And he's like, don't worry, I'm gonna take care of it. And yeah, they all just sort of suddenly started falling asleep or getting knocked out. This could either be something to do with his ability, or maybe he has some really powerful hockey, and he's just able to knock people out around him. There is the chance that he was just caught off guard by Sanji, and this whole Bobbin character might be a little stronger than we realized. He has been one of the mainstays of Big Mom's crew. We've seen him a lot.
We saw him from the beginning. It was putting him, a few other people, and then the silhouette of Big Mom, you know? So, like, he's obviously one of the most powerful crew members. So it doesn't surprise me.
And don't discount him because of his appearance. One Piece has taught us that you can't judge people by how goofy they look. They could be completely ridiculous looking and they'll just completely wreck your shit. I think Big Mom is the perfect example of that, because even when she's sleeping, she's dangerous. Which, if this is like a regular occurrence for her, they have got to be constantly rebuilding shit on this island all the damn time, because not only has Big Mom proved in the past that she has basically a really short trigger for being angry, but if she just does this shit all the time casually, just pure raw destruction. And how the hell did Jinbei not even wake them up when he did that big fire technique? Like, you know, when he jumped down and just boom, this huge explosion. And hilariously enough, when they jump back into the mirror, they give you this shot of Big Mom still sleeping and the whole room is on fire.
Yeah.
So she's either just gonna, like, sleep through this shit, or she's gonna wake up and get really super pissed off. Luckily for them, they were right next to the mirror and they could jump right back in. They're totally taking advantage of that, which I think is really, really cool.
Yeah, obviously that character that controls the mirror world is a forced crew member at this point. And giving them a huge advantage. Like, they may really get in and out of this arc. Obviously, it's not going to be this simple, because the writing would be boring. But, you know, they may get in and out of this whole arc without having to topple an empire, without having to actually defeat Big Mom. They may just get in and out, get what they want, and leave. So that's an exciting concept. And maybe it will happen, but then Luffy will be like, nah, we got to go fight.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
that's the way Luffy likes to do things, though.
Yeah. He likes to
solve things with his fists. But overall, I liked this chapter a lot. I got a lot of great laughs out of it. I especially loved the whole scene where every single time they were trying to get Brook back, they acknowledged it by calling it like a challenge, where someone would step up to the plate and try to do it. I got this sort of like Shaun of the Dead vibe from it, like when they're coming up with the plan to go save his mother and his stepdad. Like, every single time they went over the plan, it got a little quicker and a lot worse each time, whether it be Big Mom getting ready to smack them, or like Prometheus and Zeus attacking them with their signature abilities. Just, it was a very fun chapter. And of course, I think the artwork this week was just gorgeous. Every single, like, panel, all the scenes with Big Mom were great, but also that final shot of Luffy just looked really damn good.
It really did. The art style was on point. If I had to give this one a score, I know I like action, but I'm not going to hold it really against this one. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5.
I got a lot of enjoyment out of this chapter. I loved the artwork. I got a lot of laughs and smiles, and I love the way it ended. I'm giving this one a 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5.
I liked it that much.
That's fine. That's why we got different opinion, guys. Let us know what your favorite part was in the comments below. Make sure to thumb up the video. Any other questions you want them to comment about, Corey? Like, did you think the poneglyphs were the most important part of this chapter, and that's going to actually lead to them, like, finding One Piece faster? Or do you think that they're actually going to get off this island without having an actual confrontation with Big Mom.
Could the poneglyph rubbings actually be a fake, and this is all just a big plan from Big Mom to trap the Straw Hat Pirates?
She's definitely smart enough to do something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely possible. Well, thank you guys so much for watching what we do on YouTube. And until next time, stay dandy, baby.
In this week's manga chapter of One Piece, the Straw Hat Pilots?
Pilots. They fly planes.